Uh, Take it away, Meredith. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kerry, and thank you everyone for joining us this morning. I'm really delighted to have all of you gathered here together and to spend some time talking about music, and we will take a moment to make some music as well, which will be nice to break up our day. So as Kerry mentioned, we met, I think it's going back on 14 years, Kerry, if I remember. Actually, we met at a Federation for Children with Special Needs conference, and since then have done some fabulous work together. And I'm excited to share with you how our agency has grown over the years and some of the work that we do, and really just to inform you a bit about music therapy as a service option, and also music in general and what it can provide for folks, particularly during these stressful times that we are all in. So we'll talk a bit about the potential and the possibilities. So we're going to start with some music, but after that we will talk about what is music therapy, and we'll spend some time talking about in-person music therapy as well as virtual services, which we've been doing quite a bit since March 13th. We also will be speaking about who benefits from music therapy, so that you can get a sense of who are folks that maybe would be an appropriate referral, or maybe if you were thinking of referring yourself, why and what music therapy might provide. We'll spend a minute talking about how is music therapy funded, because I think that's an important piece of the puzzle. And then I also have prepared a slide just to talk about how music can support well-being and mental health for all of us, and things that maybe you are already doing or things you could consider doing, but also some ideas you can share with the families you work with or with your own family members. So to get started, I'm going to pull out my guitar here. We're going to make a little bit of music. I will tell you that as music therapists, we thought that pre-COVID, this would never happen virtually. We could never do this if we weren't in the same room, but we have learned over the past number of months that music making works great virtually, and there's still lots of ways to engage with people across and using the camera as its own medium. So we're just going to share a quick little song together. Hello, hello, today is a beautiful day. Hello, hello, today is a beautiful day. Hello, hello, today is a beautiful day, and I'm so glad you're here. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. So that's just one of many gathering or greeting songs that we might start our music therapy sessions off with. We can use this song in a lot of different ways. We can substitute folks' names. We could talk about the weather. We could talk about the mood that we're in and how we're feeling. Certainly, given all that we're experiencing with COVID, this is a great opportunity to just check in with each other. So if we're doing a music therapy group, or even in an individual session, to say, how has that been? You know, how's your day going? What kind of a day are you having? We can encourage vocabulary. We can encourage identifying how we're feeling, all of those pieces. So I just want you to take a second to think for yourself, you know, what is it like for you to shift gears and to hear and feel that music come into the day? When we're in our head spaces and constantly thinking and problem solving and managing logistics, certainly I know we're dealing with so many different questions today that we haven't always had to deal with, that now being able to make music can give your body and your mind and your spirit a different way to respond. I know usually when we're in a large room, you can sort of notice the energy change in the room. But I'll tell you that in our team meeting last Friday morning, we did a karaoke for just our staff. And it was so wonderful to see the energy change across the team. Even though we're still all in our own homes, we're still all Zooming in, it was nice to create that energy together. And we were all muted, but folks are dancing on the screen, folks are enjoying each other's company, and listening to each other's music. So we'll wait until the end, as Kerry said, for questions, but feel free to share your reflections on that as well. I know that was a very short element of music, but we say that the songs are not just songs, they're carefully crafted therapeutic interventions. And that's one that we use to really gather people together, to help folks acknowledge each other, and then to prepare for music that is to come. And for this, to prepare for the words that are to come. So beyond that, I'll share just a little bit about Roman Music Therapy Services. I'm the founder and executive director, started in 2006. I had a previous music therapy business in New York, and when I moved up to the Boston area, founded Roman Music Therapy Services. And over the years, we have really grown to serve a wide variety of individuals and groups across the state, from birth through end-of-life care. So we really are providing settings, a diverse number of settings. We work in community settings, working with family support services. We work with a large number of school districts. We work in a hospital. We work in a prison. We work in families' homes. So we really are flexible and nimble enough to be able to serve our clients wherever they are. We also do work in a number of senior living communities as well. Our team continues to grow, and we have 10 music therapists, all board certified music therapists on our staff. We train interns through a national roster internship. So we currently have 2 interns. We have 2 each year, and we have a wonderful team of administrative staff as well. If you're not familiar with music therapists, I just want you to know that board certified music therapists, that is the credential that we have within our field. And board certified music therapists have a bachelor's or a master's degree in music therapy, and they're required to have at least 1,040 hours of clinical training. I mentioned our internship. It's a 6 to 9 month internship that's required across the country, and we need to be proficient in voice, guitar, piano, and percussion. So my primary instrument coming into this field was actually trumpet, but I don't use my trumpet in therapy very often, if really ever at all. But I do use a lot of guitar, a lot of voice, a lot of drumming, percussion instruments, and the like. And all of our music therapists have to pass the board certification exam for music therapists. So we do have a national credential, which requires the passing of that exam and continuing education credits following that. So what is music therapy? Here's a definition from the American Music Therapy Association. Music therapy is the clinical and evidence-based use of music interventions to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional who has completed an approved music therapy program. That says a lot of words, but our training really prepares us to serve folks using music to reach all kinds of non-musical goals. So while a music teacher teaches music and uses music for instruction purposes so that you become a better musician or have more knowledge about music, a music therapist uses music to help impact all other areas of development and well-being. So a music therapist would be working to promote wellness, manage stress, alleviate pain, express feelings, enhance memory, improve communication, and promote physical rehabilitation. So our work and our challenge as music therapists is to be problem solvers with music. So when we talk to a client or we talk to a potential new program, we learn about what their needs are, and in learning about their needs, then it's our job to design music interventions that are going to support those needs. Another way to think about music therapy is the music therapy pyramid framework, which I've developed, and I think this helps explain some of the work that we do in the community. The clinical goal of music therapy is sort of that prescribed sense of music making. So if you're in the hospital and the doctor writes you a script for music therapy, that happens in many settings. So that would be one way to access music therapy. Getting music therapy on your IEP in the school district, that's another way to access music therapy. And those would be clinical uses of music. So you have a prescribed need, there's particular goals that have been identified in your referral, and you're receiving that individualized treatment plan service delivery. So clinical and advanced clinical are both of those, advanced clinical being music therapy being the primary delivery of therapeutic services, where within a clinical model, the music therapist is a partner in the team, generally in an interdisciplinary team. So when we're working on an IEP case, we're working with the rest of the team members. When we're working in a hospital, we're working with all of those team. When we're working in the prison, we're working with all of the staff. So there's a team engagement in those clinical services. When we talk about preventative services, those are for folks who have an identified risk factor, folks who have an identified diagnosis, and we're really trying to prevent additional needs for services or support. So in this area, we're really hoping to use our music strategies to support social cohesion, to support connectedness, and build social capital among group members. You see this really well in family support groups when parents and children are engaged together, and you can see the social connections happening across the circle between family members. And so those preventative services help individuals who have a diagnosed need and their families or caregivers to provide better supports and to help mitigate things like isolation, depression, loneliness, any other physical skills, regressing, things like that. Preventative services are going to help maintain our skills and prevent other needs. For promotive services, that's when we're looking at building a particular skill set or improving quality of life. So there may be services where we are working, for example, we have a Spreading Melodies early childhood program that we run in the community. It's for children 0 to 5. And in that group, we're really looking to promote their developmental skills. So similar to an early intervention model, we're looking to promote the children's skills. We're also looking to promote parenting skills. We're also in those programs teaching parents about development so they understand what they can expect from their little one, what is developmentally appropriate, and how they can provide developmentally appropriate supports through music making. So that would be the promotive level of support. And then finally, universal. And our universal music therapy experiences are designed to be in the moment music making that is goal driven and intentional. So when our team hosts karaoke night, it's very different than going to karaoke night at a restaurant or a bar. When we host karaoke night, we work together as a team to set intentions for the evening, but we also work with our participants and anyone who attends the event to set intentions. So when we come together on a Friday night, folks might say they want to relieve some stress, they want to shake off the work week, they want to prepare for the weekend ahead, they want to have a good time and support their friends. Those are the other pieces that would come up. So when we're using music therapy, we can address all sorts of different needs. And I just wanted to give you a sampling of those. Again, it's very person specific, and group specific if it's a group setting. But here's just a number of things that music therapy can address. So social interaction in a group can certainly help build and strengthen relationships. It can enhance self-expression to create positive changes in mood and emotional state. Music therapy can increase awareness of self and the environment, which accompanies increased attention to music. So for folks who are not necessarily as aware of what is going on around them because of their developmental disability, music can really help heighten their awareness of what's going on around them and provide additional opportunities of connectedness. We can use music to enhance memory and academic skills through structured songs and experiences. We can use music for physical wellness to promote independence and autonomy and support movement. We can also use music to help reduce stress and anxiety for clients and for caregivers. We do that a lot in our work in hospice, as well as in our work, we're seeing more and more folks calling in with mental health needs or concerns about their own mental health and mental well-being. And so we're using music for stress and relaxation as well, and to help reduce anxiety. And music can also help provide a sense of control and purpose. And particularly during this time where so many things are uncertain, music can really help us have that guiding sense of direction, of purpose, and of control, because when you're composing music or you're making music, you can control all of those elements. So we spoke a little bit about opportunities for positive change in mood and emotional states are really important right now, and that's really important for children with learning as well, because if they're not engaged or they're not feeling connected to the material that's presented to them, we know from research that they're not learning as much. So if music can enhance their mood, enhance their emotional engagement with the topic, then their learning will also enhance. The other piece that I want to point out on this is the use of music for non-pharmacological management of pain and discomfort. Music can help people through painful experiences, whether it's procedural support in the hospital, if you're preparing for your own hospital procedure, you can use music to help reduce some of the pain and discomfort that you feel. So we use that a lot in our work, and it can be used with individuals in a group residence. It can be used with folks in school. We actually use music for pain management quite a bit. Stimulation can also provoke this interest when other approaches are not effective. And we've heard that from a lot of people, particularly recently, that the virtual services are just not working. Virtual services, they're not engaged, they're not paying attention, they're not interested. But music can provoke a different kind of stimulation. And so that does allow people to maybe tap into it a little bit more, stay curious, and stay engaged longer in therapies when music is involved. The structure of music in itself provides rhythmic and continuous movement, or whether we're singing using our words, vocal fluency, which can also help us with physical rehabilitation or with skill development. And when families are making music together, one of the benefits that we've noticed of virtual music therapy services over the last number of months, and particularly with our school-based services, is that families, as parents are engaging, the emotional connection is stronger as well. So the parents are becoming invested in the students' music therapy services and helping carry that over throughout the week, which has been wonderful. The other piece that, I'm going to go back one more time here. There we go. Fun social interactions with caregivers and families. One of the goals that we talk about a lot in our work in music therapy is shared joy. And shared joy should not be underestimated as a powerful life-changing force. And so we do talk about the importance of fun and shared joy with each other in music experiences. I know many of you work or are here thinking about your own family, so I just wanted to share a little bit about how music therapy can support families in particular. When families are making music together, it creates shared common experiences and opportunities for enjoyment. And so that's something that can definitely come together in a parent-child dyad, or as a couple, or as a family. And it does provide meaningful, structured time together. So our Spreading Melodies classes, which I mentioned earlier, parent-child dyads, the child might be 1.5 or 2, but when they're, or even 6 months, when they're engaged in music making with their parent, it's not the same as their regular day-to-day, getting things done, checking things off the list, you know, all of those other pieces. This is structured music time, which creates those bonds of intimacy. It can also help support relaxation for stressed parents. When parents are able to engage and be part of music, or maybe they are taking respite sitting next to their child or loved one, maybe they're taking respite being in the next room, but either way there's opportunities to relieve folks of their caregiving duties and provide opportunities for relaxation. We can also use music and these opportunities with families to address strategies for behavior modification and skill building. So in many ways, our music therapists are serving as consultants in these settings as well, where we can help support others in utilizing music throughout the day. And we've talked a little bit about that unity for families, but I just want to address the verbal and nonverbal communication is important here, particularly if you're working with someone or your family member is someone who's not able to use language, spoken language as a way to communicate. Music gives us another way to communicate where words are not a barrier. So that's another piece that I think is supportive. We are continuing to provide in-person music therapy services. That was all that we did prior to March. We have a music therapy center in Wakefield, and we have started to provide some outdoor sessions as well as some indoor sessions with precautions for particularly our clients who are most in need and have not been able to access as many services over the past number of months. But we are still working with lots of folks to do outdoor sessions as well, and that's been going really well over the past month. For virtual music therapy services, we've been doing things in a number of different ways. We have live synchronous music experiences. We have also had some asynchronous music experiences where we would pre-record videos for either classrooms or groups. We've even had some school districts where we provide a live service and we record it and post it on a hidden private web page after so that families can watch it again, or families that weren't able to participate can participate asynchronously. So we've worked with a lot of different programs to create models there that are accessible for families in lots of different ways. What we're finding is virtual music therapy really does provide a great deal of flexibility, accessibility, and continuity. Having that continued structure and sense of normal that we're all seeking can be really helpful. And so we have been working to continue virtual music therapy services for our clients, but we're also taking in new clients currently, folks who are looking for additional support right now. So again, back to the earlier picture of the pyramid model, who benefits from music therapy? I think everyone can benefit from music therapy depending on their level of need and that level of care that's required at that time. I think developmentally, we work from a developmental perspective. So we also think of the arc of development. And so if you think of individuals who are in levels of awareness, then they move into trust and learning to trust themselves, the environment around them, independence, control, responsibility. All of those areas of growth can be supported in music therapy. And then at the end of life, we see the arc of development move in the other direction, and we go from responsibility to control, independence, trust, and awareness. And we are able to support folks through the end of life as well. And whether it is a decline through dementia or an Alzheimer's related issue or just age-related concerns, we certainly can help folks through this other arc of development as well as folks approach the end of life. So to address the funding question, I know that's an important question for many. I focused here on the services for folks with disabilities, individuals with disabilities of different ages. So through DDS, there are a number of ways to access music therapy. The DDS and DESI grant has been used successfully for music therapy in Massachusetts. Family support dollars or respite dollars can be used to pay for individual or group services. We've had a great deal of success with adults who use participant-directed programming and have been able to allocate funds for music therapy weekly or biweekly services, and that's gone really well and been an essential component for many of the adults we work with. And there's also opportunities to access it through day and residential programming. We work with a number of large agencies providing services in group homes and also in day programs. On the school side, music therapy can also be provided in a school setting. You can have some students in a district who really require music therapy and music strategies to access their curriculum. Those are the students who would qualify for music therapy as an IEP related service. But many districts also choose to provide group services through programmatic enhancement. And so it may not be on the student's IEP, but the music therapist would work with the teacher to identify skills and goal areas and work to address those goals in group services. And with virtual services, as I mentioned, we are doing virtual synchronous and asynchronous services going into this next school year. We do have families who private pay, and we also have families who have utilized grants or programs that have utilized grants to support services. So those are also options. All right. I wanted to include this slide just because I know that this has been a very challenging time for all of us, and all of us are dealing with it in very different ways. But I just wanted to make a note that music can be helpful to all of us during this time. So just a few thoughts and ideas that I wanted to share. When you put on music in the background, and maybe you're not putting on music because you're not in the car and you're not thinking about it lately, but try to put on some music and choose the music like you would a good friend or companion. Think about who you want to have lunch with right now, or who do you want to chat with? Who's the friend that's going to support you the most? And search for that music. So really choose your company carefully in the music you listen to. And you might want to build in some quiet time for yourself. You can make some time to just sit and quietly listen to the music. You could also listen and create art at the same time. Just get out some crayons or get out some crayons or colored pencils and just take some time to be present in the music. A lot of what we're dealing with is just sending us running every which direction. And although we feel like we're running in place sometimes, right? But we're still constantly on the move, and being able to stop and listen to music can really help bring ourselves back to the present moment and help us be mindful and take care of ourselves, because that's so important right now. But enjoy singing and making music where and when you can. Relax and have a good time. Sing along in the shower or in your car if you want to just go for a ride and put the music on. I know I've missed that. I've missed having car rides with music playing. And so I've just sometimes gotten in my car and just gone to listen to music because that's what I needed at that moment. I'd encourage you to create a playlist. I created a pandemic survival playlist with myself and my team at work. I've also created some playlists with my kids. You can create some fun playlists just to think about what do you want to listen to. You might do it electronically now, but there's no reason why you couldn't make an old mixtape or mix CD to really lift you up or to accompany you in your sadness if that's what you're feeling. I'll put a plug in for all of the stuff that is out online and on TV right now. There's been some really great efforts to bring theater and musical productions to our homes. So you can find things on YouTube, you can find things on some of the subscription channels, or just PBS. They always have fabulous, great performances on, but there's lots of ways to find good recorded music right now. One of the things that we've started doing, and I'd encourage you to consider, is a virtual celebration or a karaoke party with family and friends. I mentioned we did it with our staff. It's a great way to bring people together, have some fun. Zoom calls with a bunch of people are great, except if they're not structured, they can get a little chaotic. And if they're too structured, then they're not fun. So we've really been working on this on our end to make these experiences fun and playful and enjoyable for all ages and all abilities. So keep that in mind as an option. We have created music therapist approved resources lists, and those are for particular age groups. If you're interested, I'd be happy to share them with you. My email is at the end, and you can send me a note. I would share those with you. It gives you different places to go online and ways to access music for relaxation, music for stress reduction, music for movement, and gives you lots of ideas of things that you can access on your own. And I'll also invite you to join our Project Harmony Jam sessions or a music therapy club. We spend a lot of time making music, and we would love for you to come and join us and play in the space of making music with our team. So here's some of the other ways you can learn more. We're going to get on to questions, but please know that we are available for Music Therapy Club, which is for school-age children. Project Harmony Jam sessions is designed for adults. And there was music at work is also available as an option. So just flipping back through here to see if there was anything else. We do provide group music therapy services through partnerships with lots of agencies and schools and parent groups. So if you have any interest, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. And from there, we will open it up to questions and conversations.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Meredith. Jared, I see that you raised your hand. Did you have a question? You can unmute yourself if you'd like. Okay, well, if you think of it, just let me know. How about anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? Okay, we've got some things.
Kerry, there is one in the chat here that I can certainly address.
Okay,
how do you choose the type of music, and certainly music in a therapeutic context, and I appreciate that clarification, but certainly as I spoke about with music listening, you can think about, what do you need right now and how to find that in music. When we're doing music in therapy, we're looking to support client preferences. the idea that one size fits all is just not true. We all come from different cultural backgrounds. We have different preferences in music. We have different familiarities in our music that we listen to. So we do base a lot of the work on preference. But then we also use the elements of music and all that we know about the science behind that. So a strong, steady, rhythmic beat is going to bring people together. And that's what we're going to use for a gathering song. When we use different chords or chord progressions, sometimes that can open people up to new thinking, or sometimes it can close it in. So we would use that strategically, but we definitely are looking to our clients to see how they respond to music and what are they responding to. So I might use the same song with two different clients, but one of them I know is driven by rhythm, and I'm going to focus on rhythm and make that rhythm really fun and engaging because that's what's going to pull them into the music. And with another client, it's really all about melody. So I'm going to make the melody really beautiful and engaging and use that to draw them in, because that type of music is going to be more connected with what they're looking for in music experiences. So every music therapy session does look a little bit different. Every session we would choose music based on age, based on interest, based on preference.
Great, thank you. How about anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? Just curious, anybody ever participate in music therapy or have sent a loved one in music therapy? I guess this is all new. Okay. All right.
And I can speak to, music therapy is one of those things that I think is really worth trying. Sometimes people really think of it as the very last resort, or sometimes, families will think, well, of course it's going to benefit my child, or I don't know if it's going to benefit my child. We have an assessment process where we go through with our clients to really identify, is music therapy the appropriate service? Is it going to get you what you're looking for? And what would the goals and objectives be that we'd work on in music therapy for your loved one? So it's definitely something that can be pursued. Again, I would say that the virtual music therapy has been extremely successful. And even though as music therapists, we thought it would never happen 6 months ago, we have been continually amazed by the progress that our clients are making on the other side of the screen. While we're not there directly with them, the music still creates a container and a place for that music to provide structure and opportunity. So I definitely would encourage everyone, if you're thinking about it or you're not sure, feel free to explore as well.
Okay, Ann has a question in the chat box that her support group has been having music therapy and it's been greatly helpful for my youth in change often to stay in routine and maintain their sanity. Roman music therapy is awesome. Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, Ann. We do work really hard to accommodate different kinds of needs, different kinds of programming. So, we really feel like partnerships are essential in the work that we do. Most organizations don't have their own music therapist. So when we partner with an organization, we want to learn about you and about your group's needs and about the programs that you offer, things that are going really well. And we want to help fill in the gaps for you. So I think as much as we can, we really do cherish those partnerships that we have with folks.
Yeah, that's great. And just, I've always been really impressed, too, with how much music can then enhance communication for kids. And it's just really exciting to see kids being interactive and that sort of thing through music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we definitely, I can't say it enough, it is working virtually. It really is. So even if you found that either the children and families you're supporting or people you work with or your loved ones aren't accessing therapeutic services through virtual services, well, I'd encourage you to try music therapy and see if that might provide a different avenue of support, especially as we head into the fall and the uncertainty that's ahead of us.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you're going to continue to provide virtual services even if everything went back to normal.
Yeah, I have to say I'm delighted now to realize that we can serve folks who were just slightly geographically out of our reach that we couldn't get to before. We do a lot of tabling events, and you always have that family who says, I would love to do this, but I'm just too far away, and we haven't had this solution prior. So now, absolutely, I think we will continue to offer virtual services. We'll continue to be able to provide that consulting through the home, but also direct services through a video platform that we didn't realize could do all that it can do right now.
Great. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions or like to share anything? We
I
have
love
one
the
more in the
comments here. Was this Gayasi? I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right.
Jossie.
Jossie. Yep.
I love that music can give you confidence and make you feel empowered, and it's such a gift of music to be able to provide that. But again, it's that right music, isn't it? And the right music for you may be very different than the right music for someone else. Do you want to give an example of what that song might be for you?
Well, I guess one exercise routine I do, I dance to music, and I have my vision board, and I am, which has a whole bunch of my dreams, and I have a playlist that includes like Barry White, Michael Jackson, and some other artists. So like there's songs that make me feel, give me a sense of confidence and make me feel empowered. Or like, for instance, even watching the musical Hamilton on Disney Plus. Or I saw, for instance, lately I saw Beyonce's Black is King, and some of that music, really livens me up,
Great examples, yeah. And again, it just demonstrates how personalized all of this is, that our experiences with music are deeply personal. And so we use that as a way to access all sorts of learning and growth. And Denicia, I can answer your question that we do provide services on the South Shore. We are throughout Eastern Massachusetts, Worcester East. It's very difficult for us to get to the Cape, out on the Cape, but most parts of the South Shore we can get to. If not, we can also help. Right now, virtually, we can provide services throughout the South Shore, and we also have some other colleagues down there that we could refer to if we aren't able to. So please feel free to reach out to us with your specific requests.
Great. All right then. Any other questions? Really appreciate, Meredith, this very thorough presentation today, and just all the ways music therapy can really benefit all of us, and how therapeutic it is to get through the pandemic. Yes, Jarrett?
Can you share the slideshow after?
Yes, I will send everybody a PDF copy of this presentation. So thanks again, Meredith, and thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful day and get to listen to some good music. So, all right.
Thank
everyone
you,
take care.
Take good care. Thanks. Bye-bye.